Good evening. Emerson once said, "Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but rising up every time we fail." This quote sort of spoke to me when I first read it because, as some of you may have known, I took a tumble earlier this year, and for most of my junior year, I was either in a cast, a boot, on crutches, or you would see me limping through the halls. And not only would I constantly fall physically, but junior year, your first year as a DP student at an IB school, is probably one of the most difficult things I've ever had to deal with. Not only did you have to worry about trying to balance your academics with a healthy home life, but also, how are you supposed to be this perfect student that everyone expects you to be, or maybe just yourself? See, myself, embarrassment is like a knife to the heart for yourself. You criticize yourself the most. You try to picture, am I good enough? Are they going to accept me? Am I going to succeed in life? And what are these successions based on? Are they based on an A+, or are they based on happiness? I've had a lot of struggles with pre-calculus and biology. They're just not my strong points. And I remember feeling like I wasn't good enough for my family, and I wasn't good enough to be going to a school like this when I think that everyone is achieving at a very high level. That was the first time in life that I didn't feel like the smart kid in class. It's really hard to feel that way. It's hard to feel ashamed to raise your hand and ask a question. But I realized that that matters, but in the end, it doesn't make or break you. What makes or break you is the decision to give up and kind of choose the wrong path or the fork in the road versus trying to recover and at least try your best and say that you were able to do everything that you could to get back up. Recover from the F and say, okay, yeah, it's just a D, but it's something better, and I know that I gave my all. But it's not just academics. It's trying to be a better person. It's trying to push yourself forward because you feel like maybe you're not always the nicest, or trying to push yourself forward because you feel like people look at you a certain way. You want to be the best you that you can be. See, the glory is not defined in never failing. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be content. You have to be happy. I personally feel like I know that I am my best self when I don't have to worry about what other people think of me, because I know that I am the best version of myself, that I try, that I put in my all. That, yeah, I fell 7 times this school year, and yeah, it was hard because I would always be the last person to get to my second period class because I had to take the elevator and walk across the street, but it's okay because I got back up. I remember being so embarrassed when they had to come pick me up in the wheelchair because I was indisposed, and feeling embarrassed that people had to see me that vulnerable, but it's okay to be weak. As long as you're able to recover. Recovery is the #1 thing that you're able to look back on and say, I did it. It was hard. And, you know, I didn't always feel like I was doing the right thing, but I knew that it was the right thing for myself. Try your hardest, because you might think that it's the end, and you might think that you can't continue, but it might just be the best thing for you. Thank you.
The 20th of March, 2003. On this day, the United States committed to making one of the worst decisions we have seen in modern history. On this day, the United States went to war with Iraq, costing us billions of dollars. 800 billion to be exact, as claimed by the Huffington Post. 800 billion of anything can be hard to imagine. So reporter Nancy Helmich estimates it takes around $289 to feed a family of 4 well for a week. So by these numbers, we see that the United States lost around what it would take to feed 1 million families well for 10 years. This cost is unacceptable. And as with all tragedies that we see in the United States, we would hope that it would be unique, that the American people would only have to suffer through it once and then it would be over. But sadly, this tragedy has not been one that is unique. The war in Afghanistan, taking the lives of troops from over 26 different countries and costing a similar amount of money, is an equally devastating tragedy. These tragedies cannot go unaddressed. And this is why I'm here today. I will be advocating for a 2-part legislature to try and fix these rash decisions that have cost the United States billions of dollars and cost families years of food. So to begin, we have to understand the costs of our current legislation and the problems that have arisen because of it. Besides the monetary cost, which is great, we also see the cost of lives. Over 174,000 American soldiers died in the war in Iraq alone. And with troops from over 26 countries dying in the war in Afghanistan, we see the cost of military lives is great. But 100,000 innocent citizens were also killed in these wars. We also see the cost of those not even involved in these wars being paid. And we would like to think that the cost of lives and the cost that our families back home pay ends at those who have died, but it sadly doesn't. Over 1 in 8 returning veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan have developed post-traumatic stress disorder. This life-changing disorder has symptoms such as panic, hyperarousal, hypervigilance, paranoia even to loved ones, and other life-changing disorders that affect themselves and their families. With over 200,000 cases of post-traumatic stress disorder being developed from the war in Iraq alone by those who have returned to us back home, we see that this cost is also inexcusable. But to truly remove the chances, or to lessen as much as we can, the chances of these tragedies reoccurring, we must realize the root of these problems. And that is in our policy, our foreign policy. And we derive that from the Constitution. So, the Constitution. The letters W-A-R are put together in the Constitution to make the word war and are addressed over 6 times in the Constitution, while diplomacy and treaty have a collective mention of once in our Constitution. This drastic imbalance in our foreign policy makes it very clear to us when we can start the next bloodbath, but very fuzzy when we should try to avoid war and try and talk things out to avoid these great costs. While splitting the power to declare war is important between the President and Congress to further decrease the chance of these tragedies occurring once more, we have to realize that this has been ineffective, and we must realize that diplomacy must be our first step in this tragedy. So this is why I present a 2-part legislation to all gathered here today. The first part, a war outline for Congress to determine the type of evidence we need to go to war. When unclear pictures have caused the war in Iraq based on weapons of mass destruction, we see that nearly anything can cause a war. We must have a specific set of criteria to make sure that these tragedies do not continue occurring. But these tragedies have a common cause, and that's police action. 4 of the 5 past wars have been preceded by police action. This action to deploy militarily armed troops in other countries being able to be made by the President without Congress's approval has served to agitate other countries before war has even been declared. We have military soldiers in countries where we aren't even at war with. By taking this power away from the president, we create a more decisive government body. We are either at war or we are not in this gray area that police action declares, where we are in a sort of war without declaring it yet. By taking these steps, the first steps in the right direction, we try to prevent these tragedies from occurring again. We try to feed those million families for those 10 years. We have to keep those 174,000 troops safe at home with us. Those 200,000 people without post-traumatic stress disorder. So this is why I feel that this legislature is very necessary and oh so important to our current government. Thank you.
I can't take this.
Totally
He is an insensitive, self-centered character.
Living for another hour.
I tried. My mother says, don't give up, don't give up. Of course, she's already divorced. It's all his fault.
She shaves her legs with my razor. The razor I use on my face.
He shaves his face with my razor, the one I use on my legs. It's
unsanitary. She leaves dirty underwear all over the house.
Well, he clips his fingernails in the living room.
She eats potato chips in bed, and she won't shave.
That's because you're getting fat.
I'm getting fat.
I'm glad you agree.
Oh, do you see the way she twists things?
He's completely unreasonable.
Nah.
Don't be such a child.
Tiger and Susan are a married couple with a few differences. So when they stroll into a fighting marriage counselor's office, this is the marriage counselor by Joey Olette. Listen, do you want to do this or what? I can just walk out of here. You're the one who wanted to come to a marriage counselor. As usual, I gave up, I gave in.
You gave in. You never give in. Your stubbornness is the cause of every problem we have.
Oh, my stubbornness. I'm the stubborn one.
I'm glad you finally admit it.
Do you see the way she twists things?
I didn't twist anything.
You do it all the time. It's like living with a giant squid. Did I hurt your feelings?
No.
Do you see what she does?
It's not my fault you're not as smart as I am.
Oh, I am. It's just that you're cold and I'm sensitive.
You mean stupid.
No, I mean sensitive.
You mean sensitive.
No, I mean stupid. You're the sensitive one, I'm the stupid one. Wait a minute.
Maybe we should start from the beginning.
All the way at the beginning, we're paying this bozo, aren't we? Sorry.
$200 an hour.
I take that sorry back.
I'll start.
Wait a second, why do you get to go first? And don't pull me at that. If you were a gentleman garbage, I'll give you equal rights. I'm going first.
Fine.
Wait a second. You manipulate this whole thing so I go first. I'm not going first.
Then I will.
Haha, I figured out your plan. You just wanted to go first the whole time, but you wanted me to suffer.
Somebody has to go first.
Not me.
Then I will.
No, I want to.
This is costing us $200 an hour.
I'll go first.
We've never
Been to a marriage counselor.
before,
But
we thought we should try it.
we tried everything else.
We really have.
Role-playing,
Self-help books,
self-help videos,
self-help seminars,
acupuncture,
talking to friends,
hypnosis,
psychics.
prostitutes. Did I say prostitutes? I meant to say Protestants. Protestants talking to Protestants.
Relatives.
Talking to Catholics.
Clergy.
Going to the homes of Jehovah's Witnesses.
My doctor.
The garbage man.
Lawyers. Did I just say lawyers?
I think you did. Have you been to a lawyer?
Have you been to a prostitute?
Don't be silly. What would I go to a prostitute for? Well, I mean, I know go to a prostitute for. It's just not that I've been to one. I mean, I have a friend who's told me about it. No, I take that back. I haven't. It's just, he showed me a few pictures. No, take that back too. It was 17 years ago before I even met you. It's not important. God, do we need help?
Desperately. That's why maybe we should start from the beginning.
All the way back to the beginning? At $4 a minute? Man, that's more expensive than phone sex! Again, not that I've ever done it or anything. I had a friend who, he used to do it and sometimes I'd watch. No, I didn't watch. I swear. He told me about it on the phone. It was 7 years ago before I even met you. I'm so sorry.
That's what those calls were on the phone though.
What calls?
All of the 30-second Are we hopeless? What do you guys think?
Why couldn't we have a female counselor?
You know why?
I have no idea.
Because you wouldn't listen to anything she'd say. You'd just be too busy staring at her body like you do every other. And, by the way, this is your last chance. And then I'm keeping the car.
Well, as long as you're being open-minded about it.
Can we get on with this?
Look. I'm trying. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be polite. I'll go first. Unless you want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first. One night, my mother was really drunk, and my father lured her behind the tool shed.
Not that again. You don't have to start conception.
I think it explains a lot.
Tiger, I'll start.
Okay, but don't start with the barbecue.
I won't.
Don't.
Said it wouldn't. You see, my sister Jenny and I are like best friends. So she told me that I don't go out enough. I don't go out on date enough. So she took me to this barbecue.
She's starting with the barbecue.
How can I not start with the barbecue?
I was not going to start with the barbecue.
I have to?
No, you don't. That's what you tell me all the time. I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to do the dishes. I don't have to dress up like a nurse. That's getting kind of personal.
The barbecue is the beginning of us.
You don't have to start at the beginning. If you really wanted to work things out, you wouldn't be starting at the very beginning.
Where do you want me to start then?
I don't know, sometime after the barbecue, just never mind. I'll go first. She's having an affair.
Tiger!
What, you don't want me to tell strangers? You want me to come here, pay $200 an hour to lie to a marriage counselor?
I'm not having an affair.
Well, that's what she says. Well, let me tell you.
Tiger?
Quiet. For once in my life, it is my turn to talk, and I know what I'm going to say. Forgot what I was going to say. Okay, now I remember. How many times a week does UPS come to your house? Our house, my house, our house? I don't know. Once, maybe twice? 3 times perhaps? No. They come every day, 5 days a week, to my house while I'm at work when she's home alone in her bathrobe.
I order a lot of books.
She's sleeping with every UPS man in the country! They're probably fighting over who gets to come to my house. People are dying because the medicine they need is sitting in my driveway getting cold. The entire UPS company is going to fold, and the entire country won't be able to communicate. They'll become total civil war. The North will join up with Canada, the South will secede again, and the Center will sink into the very bowels of the earth. Oh God, the politicians, see, they'll be happy, but no, for us normal people, it'll be total chaos, all because she likes men in ugly uniforms.
Wait a minute.
No, I told the truth. There is no other truth. That's why I didn't want to come to a marriage counselor. We have no future.
May I speak? I admit that I've thought about other men, but I think that's completely normal.
I've never thought about other men.
I will be completely honest, okay? I find a man in uniform irresistible, but I have been faithful.
Do you believe that? Tell them what these books of yours are about.
Romances.
Romances, exactly, romances. Romances about men in uniforms, about men out of their uniforms.
I wouldn't be thinking about other men if you just loved me.
And I did love you.
He just wanted my sister, Janine.
Oh, we're back to the barbecue again.
Janine and I went to the barbecue. Tiger was already there. Tiger approached both of us and suddenly asked, "Will you go out?" Thinking that he was talking to me, I said yes. But no, he was talking to Janine.
That's not true. I swear. Just look at me, will you? I'm a normal, ugly, boring, stupid, repulsive man. I was asking both of them. I was asking everyone. I was asking trees and mailboxes. I even asked my mom, but she got my dad after me.
No, you just wanted Janine.
Okay. Maybe it's true that I was a bit more attracted to her sister, but I was a bit drunk at the time and she was laughing at everything I said, and she also wasn't wearing a t-shirt that said, "I hate everything."
You said you liked that t-shirt.
Can you please change the subject?
So, Tiger took me out to this cabin. Cutting firewood. He cut 3 of my toes off.
It was a bad axe, not my fault.
So he proposed to me.
What else was I supposed to do? Sorry about your toast, see you later?
We got married. You guys might just think I'm stupid, but I never thought that he was only motivated by guilt. I thought he really liked me for who I was.
And I did.
What'd you like about me?
Stuff!
He just wanted Janine.
That is ridiculous. Think about it. Do you write to Janine? Do you call Janine? No, that's why she doesn't call you. It doesn't mean anything.
She's never visited me.
That's because our driveway is filled with UPS trucks.
You only married me out of guilt.
No, I married you because I'm stupid, 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 stupid.
You just want Janine.
And you just want UPS drivers and ice cream salesmen and the Salvation Army band. Make her stop. She's the one who had to bring up the stupid barbecue in the first place.
I wish I'd never got to it.
Not as much as I do. You are evil.
If I really was, I would do something you wouldn't like.
I'm leaving you now.
Go ahead.
Never coming back.
Don't care.
Can I have the car keys?
Now!
Teens do it because they are insecure, to fit in, to solve problems, to have a good time, to kill themselves. Teen drug abuse. From 2000 to 2009, the number of children aged 15 to 19 who died from drug poisoning increased by 91%. Narcotic prescription painkiller overdoses kill 40 people a day. Big celebrities and social media make it seem cool and acceptable to take drugs, but it isn't. Many teens are a lot likely to take drugs because they're seeing big celebrities and people that they enjoy watching do these drugs as well. Many teens do drugs once and stop, but for others it becomes a regular activity and soon enough an addiction. On the other hand, many adults and guardians don't know how to handle teens with an addiction and could cause more damage than good. Drugs come in different forms, shapes, colors, and effects. The Drug Enforcement Association separates drugs into 5 different classes known as schedules. These drugs are separated into these schedules based on acceptable medical use, drug abuse, and dependence level. Schedule 1 drugs are the worst drugs possible. They have no benefits, high potential for abuse, and can cause psychological and physical dependence. Some drugs are lysergic acid, LSD, heroin, marijuana, methaqualone, and peyote. Schedule 2 drugs still have a high potential for abuse and psychological dependence. Some drugs are cocaine, methadone, Diluid, Demerol, oxycodone, and Adderall, and Ritalin. Schedule 3 drugs still have a moderate potential for abuse. Some drugs are Vicodin, codeine, ketamine, anabolic steroids, and testosterone. Schedule 4 drugs still have a moderate potential for abuse. Some drugs are Soma, Darvin, Darvocet, Ativan, and Ambien. And finally, Schedule 5 drugs that have the least potential for abuse and psychological dependence. Some drugs are Robitussin and Modafinil. The drugs that are lower on the schedule can be found in some of our medicines at our local pharmacy. The drugs that are higher up on the schedule are illegal and can cause serious damages to our body. Many teens think that just because prescription medicines are legal that they are safer. However, it is the exact opposite. When teens use prescription medicines for something other than its intended use, it can be just as bad as any Schedule 1 drug. 2,000 teenagers annually take prescription medication without a doctor's consent. And this is because we all have prescription medicines in our medicine cabinets at home, making it easier for teens to get a hold of, therefore making it the drug of choice. The most commonly used drugs are LSD, ecstasy, heroin, marijuana, cocaine, steroids, and ketamine. 4 out of these 7 drugs are Schedule 1 drugs, 2 are Schedule 2 drugs, and 1 is Schedule 3 drugs. This shows that the drugs that teens are taking the most are the ones that are most detrimental to our bodies. Many drug users think that drugs are harmless and they just cause relief and happiness, but this high only lasts for up to 10 minutes or 3 hours. After this high, users feel a crash, and after this crash leads to depression. And to fulfill this depression, users go back to these drugs to revamp themselves, leading to addictiveness. Not only does this lead to addictiveness,
but this can cause major damages to our bodies, such as cardiovascular disease, anxiety, strokes, seizures, hallucination, and yes, the worst of them all, wrinkles. Why teenagers choose drugs? There's many possibilities, but the most common one is they see it in their environment all the time. They go to parties, they see it, and they see their friends do it, so they're peer pressured into doing these things, trying to fit in. However, when teens go farther into drugs and start experimenting with more, they're pulled farther away from reality. Another reason why is out of curiosity. We all know, we're all told not to do drugs, but we don't know why. Therefore, we think it's just harmless, and we see TV shows promoting drugs, so it can't be bad, but it is. And another reason is to release stress. When teenagers use drugs, they're pulled away from reality and they aren't acting like themselves. Thus, they forget about what the actual problem is and run away by choosing drugs. There are many signs that teens show because drugs affect them mentally, physically, and it affects their environment. Mentally, a teen usually shows personality change, mood swings, irresponsibility, low confidence, poor judgment, lack of interest, and separation of family. It also affects how they perform physically, such as fatigue, red eyes, coughing, sudden health problems, and much more. Another one is their environment. When they start to lack mentally and physically, they start to show a drastic change at school. A drop in grades, absences, discipline problems, new friends, problem with the law, and changes in wardrobe and music. Now, we see some of these signs in teens as they mature, such as changes in wardrobe and music. But when you see all these signs combined, that's when you should start to get worried. Drug addiction is something that many people look down upon. They think, oh, it's the person's fault, they're lazy, they don't want to get a job, so they choose drugs. But that's not the case at all. Drug addiction is a brain disorder. And the first time people do drugs, it's solely up to them and it's what they want to do. But soon enough, the drug takes over their brain, and it's just as important as food and water in their daily lives. So they wake up, they eat, they drink water, they do their drugs, because it's a regular activity and it's a survival behavior for them. Top myths that people think of drug users is that overcoming addiction is simply a matter of willpower. You can stop using drugs whenever you want to. However, it's not the case, because for them it's a daily necessity. The second thing is addicts have to hit rock bottom before they can get better. And this is extremely incorrect. All through the steps of addiction, it is very easy to get them and pull them into rehab and therapy. And people think that by forcing somebody to go into rehab, that it's worse. But any type of help and treatment is good and positive for their life. And finally, myth number 3 is addiction is a disease and there's nothing that you can do about it. There's always something that can be done, whether it's just talking to them, but most importantly is getting them help and seeking them to go to therapy and take medications to help them to go back to how they were before. Treatments and recovery. Drug interventions, also known as rehab, is a comprehensive course of treatment that is designed to provide individuals who are involved with drugs with an education and life skills they need to overcome their addiction. This is just a one-on-one talk or group session with other drug users to help them realize that what they've done. Because once you're addicted to drugs and are caught under this form of lifestyle, they think that it's normal, but it isn't. And by going to a therapist, they can soon realize that there's something wrong with them. And finally, medication. It increases patient retention and decreases drug use, infection, disease transmission, and criminal activity. And this gets them back to how they were before and prevents relapses. And recovery at home. So while going through treatment, there's things that parents and guardians and friends can do. First thing is find out what their interests are and encourage them. So encouraging them to join a sport or continue doing a hobby, anything to get them focused on something other than drugs will help them boost their self-esteem and realize that there's a life outside of drugs. Secondly is getting them involved. And a sport will help them find their passion and find out that drugs isn't what life is all about. And thirdly is helping them succeed. By helping them succeed, we'll boost their self-esteem and help them find something that they really enjoy doing. Drugs are something that affects everybody. It's not just one person that's affected, it's the whole community. And as a community, we can do major things to help somebody who's going through drug addiction. So the next time you see one of your classmates or siblings go through this, don't just say, oh, they can handle it on their own. Tell a trusted adult or a friend, or just push them into getting rehab. Thank you.
The title of my piece is Our Stories, an original. Remember a time when we used to think we were unstoppable, when we thought we were unbreakable, when we jumped from our tree in our backyard thinking we can fly, and that we would never say goodbye. We were fearless, till we heard the beat of death's drum saying, come, come, come. As the living, we fear death, for when he comes and takes us away, even when we have the choice placed in the palm of our hand, there is still fear. But death is nothing more than the end to the beauty of the cycle of life, when our soul is at rest and we leave all our worries behind. Remember that death is not a scary thing. It is not some terrifying skeleton in a dark cloak with a blade at your throat. No, death is the end to the stories of your world, but the beginning to thousands of tales that will be told by the ones you love. And even the ones we love will cry and ask death why he took us away from their loving hold, thinking that our new home is a cold place beneath the earth. But death has a home, filled with billions of books, all established within the shelves or stacked upon each other near the open fire, so that they are close to death for when he's tired. Each book within his collection is different from the rest, from children's stories to horror novels. But no matter the story, they each have a moral. Each book has its mark, has its place. Each book has a different color, some rich within their text, others faded and dusted. Some have a tale spun through the years, with thousands of ink pages all tucked away behind its bind. Some only have a page or two for the 2-year-old who tried to live as the grains of sand slowly slipped to the clear glass. And, as most days, death has seen it all, bring home a new book that has been soaked within its own tears and of the ones who said their last goodbyes before death took it away to be placed in an open space. Though today, death brought home a bright new red book that was quite dry and light, one for a child, a young girl who died far too early, leaving behind a family she loved. Death opened her book to read how her story was filled with nothing but joy and hope. Each page was lightly scribbled with dreams of what that child wanted to be. Death turned to the very few pages at the end of the book to read the part he had just witnessed only moments ago. He was there with the girl who laid in the crisp coffin of forever rest. He could hear her family's cries saying, "We will miss you. We had so many memories, good and bad. Each memory will invade my mind just to remember you all throughout time." Death could hear them say how they wish they could turn back time, just so they can have that girl in their hold once more and never let go. But they know that she's been called upon, and it's time for them to let go. But it just hurts so much to have her slip and go. It's funny how life can end within a second, disappear within a moment. Death stood and watched with the girl at his side, the one who walked up to her mother, father, and baby sister who she will look after as she grows. She walks up to them with a smile and says, "Look, I'm feeling fine, so there's no need to cry. Mama, they have your favorite flowers, the ones with the same name as your daughter. But I know it's not your time, so I guess I'll see you soon." Death closed the book and placed it back within its spot. Amazed of a child so young could just smile and let go. For one who's been alive since the beginning of time, one who can say he's seen it all, there is still so much for death to see. And even through all the tears, all the hate, death still remembers his job. Death takes us to a new home, where our name is placed in stone, where we choose the path we want to follow, where we live forever. Death shows us that there is no more pain, no more suffering, no more sorrow, that our new destiny is pointed to eternity. Death does not tell us to just run and hide. He shows us to live our life. When we are born, we learn to take our first step, speak our first word, and as we grow, we show the world what we are made of, and our stories follow. And through the years, as we write our tales, we write of the best and the mess. We tell the times we fell, but got up and brushed off the dust. And when our last golden grain slowly slips to the stained glass of the colors we had made, we will play that story in our mind, making sure each chapter is long enough, each picture is perfectly placed, and our time through it all is clear for one to see, hear, and read, so that it is ready to give to death. For when he opens the cover and reads the title, he will welcome us to his home. Thank you.
So, how long have you lived in the city?
Almost a year. Feels longer though.
3 years for me. It's a great city.
Yeah, definitely. What's your favorite part about it?
What do you like most about living here?
Well, I really like walking my dog on the park, especially on a pretty day.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm a little different. I'm more the kind of guy who likes walking my dog in the park on a pretty day.
Me too.
So, do you like TV?
No.
Me too, I love it!
You really aren't listening.
Sometimes I like to cuddle up with a bag of popcorn and a blanket and get my Leno on. You like Leno?
No.
Well, me too!
This
Leno is the funniest guy on
ridiculous.
television, no doubt
Look at me.
about
I'm
it.
a 20-something. I'm put
Me and
together.
him, we have
I'm
the same kind of
hardworking.
humor.
I went to
Bill
college.
says I'm the
I did what I'm
funniest guy
supposed
he's
to do.
ever met.
The
I
husband
mean,
is supposed to
he's
just fall
entitled to
into
his own
place,
opinion,
right?
right?
Apparently
But
not.
With
Watch.
being funny comes
I'm pregnant.
flaws. Like,
With
people
quadruplets
don't take me
that are
seriously when I really
communists
want them to. Like, can
and
you
that
believe that?
Don't like Disney
Anyways,
characters.
I've been talking up a storm
And
here.
my
What about
husband
you?
is not happy. Or I could just leave now since you're a self-centered tool.
I'm a Capricorn myself. So I guess these duos are supposed to have some kind of moral? Ours is simple.
Do not ever, 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 ever go out on a blind date. In the end,
Seriously.
you'll just be saying, "Check please," by Jonathan Rand.
So, hi.
Hi. Hello.
So, where are you from?
I was raised in the mountains of Guam and was born on the shore of New Jersey.
So, would you like to order?
Anything which will ensure happiness for your lips is my command.
The shrimp cocktail looks good.
Shrimp, the cricket of the ocean. The ocean, which is not nearly as beautiful as the ocean of your eyes.
Listen, can I ask you sort of a blunt question?
Anything which your heart desires will be.
Yeah. Are you gonna be like this the entire dinner?
Whatever could you mean?
You know, all creepy and nauseating?
Yes.
So, how old did you say you were?
Well, what's your favorite animal?
Seriously, I'd really like to know your age.
Mine is elephants.
So, when your profile said you were in school, I assumed you meant college. Oh, that's very lifelike.
I have a scar. Do you have a scar? Do you want to see it?
No, that's all right.
Do you see it? I got it playing kickball.
Oh, that's very nice.
Do you want to be my girlfriend?
Your girlfriend?
Well, yeah, because Katie Johnson always brings boring lunch to school and Courtney Schuler smells like horses.
You've got a lot of girlfriends.
Yeah, will you be my girlfriend?
Sure, but only if you pay for dinner.
All right, Mr. Piggy, it's your time to shine.
So, sorry about all the rescheduling.
Oh no, it's fine.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm just looking for this pill. It's no big deal.
Are you sure we could go to the pharmacy or something?
No, it's fine. It's more of a precautionary drug. You probably won't even notice that I'm not on it.
So anyways.
So anyways.
So would you like to order
It's so great to finally put a name with a face. Hey, will you stop being rude to him? I know that this has been difficult for me. It has not been difficult for her. She has been through a lot, okay? Guys, when is my latte gonna get here? Guys, can we please stop fighting? I mean, it's my birthday and this is a really big day for me. Like 7 is a really big deal. Hey, will you shut up? You're ugly. Hey, guys, can we please stop arguing? What would your father say if he was here? I'd say, let him fight!
Are you okay?
You stay out of this. Hey, stop it. He is a really nice guy, okay? You're just saying that because he's good looking. I'm not saying that. He's really not that good looking. All right, who brought the monkey? It wasn't me. It wasn't me. If Brett, it was her, but it wasn't me. Well, actually, guys, it was me. Damn it, really, a monkey!
Hey, are these the pills?
Took you long enough. All right, I can feel myself settling into one personality. Usually it's one of the normal ones.
Great, but with my luck.
Oh,
well, she was nice. Hi.
Hi.
So, are you free next weekend?
Yeah, I think so. Why?
Because see, here's the thing. My parents are having a housewarming party next weekend, and it would be amazing if we could schedule 6 days beforehand, because if we don't, my parents might be skeptical of our relationship, and once you pop the question, which could make everything really uncomfortable for everybody, and would carry it over during our 3-week honeymoon in Cozumel, and most importantly, it would really affect little Madison.
Wow.
What is it? You don't like the name Madison? My second, third, and fourth choices are Riley, Fiona, and Apple.
No? Those are all great names.
What is it? You can tell your little bunny rabbit anything.
Well, to be honest, it's that you kind of have our whole relationship mapped out, and we just met 30 seconds ago. I mean, you have everything pinned down but the wedding dress.
Does that make you uncomfortable?
Well, I mean...
Because if it does, we can pick it out now!
Wow, this menu's huge.
Oh, yeah, I can never decide. I'm really picky.
The pot roast looks good.
No. Too moist.
What about the shrimp scampi?
Too moist. I actually have a tiny bit of hydrophobia.
Hydrophobia?
It's the fear of moisture or dampness.
Oh, well, we can work around that. What about the eggplant parmesan?
No. I have porphyrophobia.
Which is?
Fear of the color purple.
Okay, what about the cheese plate?
Procrastinophobia.
Which is?
The fear of constipation.
Okay, what about the sushi?
Japanophobia. It's the fear of...
Oh, no, I think I got that one. Let's see. There's this Hawaiian fish, I think it's Humu nuku nuku apua.
That actually sounds quite delicious.
Great!
But I actually have a case of hippomonstros quibidaliophobia.
Which is?
The fear of long words.
What about this? Peanut butter and jelly.
Sorry.
What could possibly be wrong with peanut butter and jelly?
I have arachobacterophobia.
Which is?
Fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of my mouth.
So, what can you eat?
No, not much. I actually have a tiny bit of shidiophobia.
Which is?
The fear of food.
Check, please.
Thank you.
I wish I had a boyfriend. I wish he lived in my closet, on a coat hanger. Whenever I wanted, I could pull him out. And he'd look at me the way boys look at girls in movies, as if I'm beautiful. And he wouldn't say much, but he would say, "Tessa, you're beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And I love you." Exactly those words. I sit up. I grab the pen off my bedside table, and I turn on my light. But I have no paper. So on the wall beside me, I write, "I wish to feel the weight of a boy on top of me." Mark Twain once said, "The fear of death follows from the fear of life." A man who's lived fully is prepared to die at any time. But what does that mean for someone who's barely lived at all? Tessa, a 16-year-old girl, is living with cancer. Well, dying of cancer. With not a lot of time left, she decides to create a list of things she hopes to accomplish before she goes. Unfortunately, through trying to complete the list, she realizes it's not going to be as easy as she thought. And that maybe living life to the fullest just means appreciating what you have while you have it. This is Before I Die by Jenny Downing. I hear Adam before I see him. The guttural roar of his motorcycle as he pulls into his driveway. It's as if the trees are dancing, the air is moving around me. You see, I mostly believe in disaster. Because if wishes came true, I wouldn't have this aching feeling in my bones as if all of the space is being used up. And I wouldn't have this mist in front of my eyes that I can't seem to brush away. But watching Adam walk up his driveway, it feels like a choice. And although the universe may be random, I can make something different happen. So I step over the path that separates our front gardens. And I feel absolutely certain about what I'm about to do. Adam, we said we'd be friends, but I don't want to be. There's this space between us, this darkness. I step in to fill the gap, and it's as if in this one moment where we stand so close to each other, we practically share the same breath. Time is just spread out between us. And in this 1 minute, my stomach is flittering up and down because I forget that my brain is full of every sad face and every window I've seen in my entire life. And right now, all I can feel is him coming towards me, and then we kiss. It's a very gentle kiss, almost as if nothing happened, but we kissed. And all the dark things gather and stare. All lost things are found again, and my heart is thumping because I feel absolutely alive. Blood is pouring out of my nose. I watch it trail down my arms in the hallway mirror. It drips on the carpet and stains. Please, not tonight. Not tonight. I will it to stop, but it won't. I hear my mom upstairs. She's putting my brother to bed, and she shuts the door, and she's coming down the stairs. I step into her path. Oh my God, Mom! You have to call a cab, please! She hesitates only briefly as she pulls out her phone book. And I try to focus on her, but I can't seem to concentrate. And I just get this look of fear on her face. So I close my eyes, and I imagine a mother I saw in a movie once. She lived on a mountain, and she had lots of children. She had a shotgun, and she was very certain of herself. I pretend this is my mother. And when I open my eyes again, she has armfuls of towels, and as we run through the emergency room, doctors stuffing sterile cotton into my nose, I try to think of simple things. A chair, a birch tree, the way the leaves on Adam's lawn sparkle in the sunlight. And then there's my mother, and that look of fear on her face. So I close my eyes, and I pretend not to see her fail me. Well, that was the night, she says as we get into the car on our way home. I shut the door and I nudge up against her so I can get some sleep. You know, it's funny, she fails me a lot. But she is my mother, and it's the least she could do for me. And there's something really comforting and lulling about her words. And then she stops speaking. What are you looking at?
Well, that's odd.
What are you looking at? I look out the window, and traffic is stopped. I mean, it's early in the morning. I guess it's because of commuters, but everyone seems to be staring at the overpass. I get out of the car, and I try to see what everyone's staring at. I see a jagged T, a wiggly E, 2 interconnecting S's, and 1 ginormous A. It's my name. I look at all the sideway shops, and there's my name. I'm huge on the Sports Authority, And I'm massive on the expensive shutters of the health food store. And my name zigzags across the street from the urgent care all the way down to the roundabout where I form a perfect circle. It was Adam. He did this for me. That was the sixth thing on my list. I wanted to be famous, and I know it's stupid. It's stupid. But I didn't want to leave this world knowing that no one knew who I was. But he's put my name everywhere. I stand here holding a ginormous bag of antibiotics and prescription medication. And my arms are sore from 2 platelets of blood delivered to my portacath. And I have a pounding headache from staying up all night at the hospital. But if you ask me, it's kind of crazy how alive I feel. Zoe's my best friend from my old school, and she's the only person that wasn't afraid of my illness. She's still the only person to this day that I know who walks around as if people don't get stabbed, shot, and buses don't crash into ditches. But being with Zoe, it makes me feel alive. It's like someone said, they got it wrong. I'm not dying, and it's someone else, and I'm gonna be just fine. Zoe comes outside. She's 7 months pregnant now. And she plops down beside me and grabs my hand and presses it on her ginormous belly. And I feel a kick. It's as if the baby's doing the laziest of somersaults. And I wanted to do it again, because I think about her baby often. And I know that may sound weird, but I drew her on my wall. It's a terrible drawing. However, all of the sizes are right. The head circumference, the femur, the abdomen. That's the last thing on my list. Born Tess Walker. Zoe says something about a maternity class. She says something about a girl in her class. They have the same due date. She mentions a midwife. It sounds like she's speaking through a tunnel. The earth around me is spinning. And the garden's turning into a shadow. And why is the air so damp? And it's becoming harder to breathe. It's okay, Tessa. Don't be afraid. Just breathe. Just breathe. Jesus Christ, she's burning up! My dad stands above me. He tells someone to call an ambulance, and I want to say thank you, Daddy, and I want to tell him I appreciate everything he's ever done for me, but I can't seem to concentrate. Why can't I get the words out? I can't speak. It's happening. It's really happening. No matter how much they say they'll remember me, no matter how much they say that they'll know who I am, I won't know because I'll be dead. We pull into the hospital. I open my eyes and I see nervous glances everywhere. Nurses to doctor, doctor to dad, dad screams. I can hear myself moaning in the distance and I don't want to be here. I just want to go home. And I try to think of something. I try to think of anything, but I can't hold on to a single thought. Think, Tessa. Think about your mom, dad, anyone, Adam. But I can't hold on to anything. Moments. All these moments. They gather towards this one. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Thomas Brady. I know what you're thinking. That's not my real name. I have 2 first names. My mom won't call me Thomas, but my dad won't call me Brady, so I'm Thomas Brady. It's hyphenated. I don't think my parents like each other very much. Hey Brady, Brayster, Mister, are you totally ready for your first day of school? Yeah, kind of. I'm a little nervous though. Thomas, I've packed your backpack, everything I need. Who do you think your favorite parent is? Me? Quiet woman, we both know Brady's old man go to your left 2 peas and a carrot. Hun, it's 2 peas in a pod. Didn't I tell you to be quiet, woman? Guys, can you please stop fighting? You know, most kids are excited to go to school and learn, maybe make new friends. But me, I kind of just want to get out of the house. My parents are the most insane people you will ever meet. Ever. Growing up by yourself is great, said nobody ever. Thomas Brady would soon learn this on his first day of school, and learn the true value of family, even the crazy ones. This is Thomas Brady's First Day of Kindergarten, by Chris and Ryan Wilkins. So the bus ride is a little bit bumpy, but here at my school, I'm excited, but I'm also really nervous. Room 204. This is the first step to the rest of my life. Oh. Hello, class. My name is Miss Judy. That's M-R-S-J-U-D-Y. As such, I would like to put your bags in cubbies you assigned to. Also, because of recent cutbacks, we only have enough cubbies for half of you. So I took it as a perfect liberty to summon your all new cubby buddies. So put your bags away and make a new friend. I don't care how many cubbies I have, as long as I get this heavy backpack off my back. Hello, my name is Glenn. As such, I would like to extend the bond of best friendshiphood to you. Best friendshiphood bond seems a little bit extreme, but I'll gladly be your friend. Great, best friend, so I was thinking, for our first day of activities, we could frequent the playground, a little bit of running, but all that running will certainly make my feet swollen. So you, as my best friend, can massage my sweaty swollen bunions as I snack on a crunchy bag of Cheetos. Sound good to you, best friend? Well, I guess I could give it a try. Great, I'll let you pick that one over. Also, because my backpack's so big, you're gonna have to carry yours around all day. Well, this isn't a great start to us being best friends. I knew you'd understand. I made a great choice in picking you as my best friend. Excellent choice. All right, class, please sit down in the seats being assigned to. It's time for a math lesson. And Miss Judy has 2 ex-husbands, one normal husband, and a boyfriend on the side. Does that make Miss Judy a slut? Isn't this supposed to be math class? Mr. Brady, why do you still have your backpack on? Actually, my last name isn't Brady. My last name's Andrew. Thomas Brady Andrew. Can everyone stop calling me Mr. Brady? Mr. Brady Andrew, why do you still have your backpack on? You know, I asked myself the same question. Still haven't quite figured it out yet. Well, all right, class, that's the bell. I'll see you all next time. Gym class. I have only heard good things about gym class. Only type of exercise I get is listening to the most insane parents you will ever meet, bickering. All right, maggots, get in line. You know, most people say dodgeball is a violent sport for any kids to partake in. Oh, geez. And I couldn't agree more. Such a violent sport's for let alone 5- and 6-year-olds. In my gym class, no one will get hurt, and that I guarantee. I've set aside much safer activities to participate in. Number 1, watching paint dry. Number 2, watching grass grow. Any questions? Well, I guess this is better than playing dodgeball. Mr. Brady, why do you still have your backpack on? Your answer is as good as mine. Do you know if you were to potentially switch around quickly, you could injure one of your fellow classmates? I don't really think that could happen. You have angered me, Tiny Thomas. Run 200 bear crawl laps. What's a bear crawl? A bear crawl is where I release the bear and you run away from its clutches. Let alone you not crawl fast enough, you'd be mauled. And that would violate my rules of safety. Do I look like a liar to you, Mr. Tiny Thomas Troublemaker Man? Do you really have a bear? I'll give you 5 seconds head start. Man, those bear crawls really wore me out. Now it's time for theater class. I'm not really sure when I'm supposed to be taking theater class. Hello, class. Some of you may be wondering, why do I have to take theater class? That's exactly what I'm wondering. Well, if you want to become a true actor, you must hone your craft early in life. Yes, Meredith? I'm kind of nervous about acting. Can you show us some? Of course. Give me a character and I shall portray it. You do Spider-Man? You know I kind of hate Spider-Man. Of course. Let me a moment to prepare. I'm a spider. Man. Half spider. Half man. I will bite you and turn you into my spider minion. Ow! Why'd you bite me? See, class, and that's how you do it. You try. So what you're saying is, for us to be good actors, we must bite Mr. Brady like it's a big old sack of potatoes? What I'm saying is, if you don't start acting now, you're all going to fail. Well, I don't want to act. Oh, I'm not acting, Mr. Brady. Then get out of my class! All right. Well, that sucked. Now it's time for art class. I'm really excited. All I want to do is just scroll with my crayons and just draw. Hello class, my name is Miss Butterchick. That's Butterchick. Today in class we're going to be coloring with our crayons. What would you like to draw? Can we just draw a dog or a small puppy? Can we draw a big old mound of jello? All right class, settle down, only one person talking at a time. Can we just draw by ourselves or something? Come on man, I really just want to draw jello. Come on, Miss Buttcheek, do you really have to draw? All right, class, please settle down. Can you guys just shut up? You guys are literally like the most insane people I've ever met. Mr. Brady, go to the principal's office. All right. Braidster, what's this I hear you've been getting in trouble with? I don't want to talk about it. Come on, Brady, you can tell me anything. Well, I thought if I go to school, I'd escape your crazy bickering, but turns out school is worse than home. What do you mean Brady is bickering? Whenever I call your mom woman, it only means I love her. You'll learn when you grow up. Well, I guess so. I'm just glad we all love each other now. I guess home isn't so bad after all. Well, it seems like you've had a bad day of school. Let's go get you some ice cream. Mom, Dad, have you considered enrolling me in homeschool? Thank you.